Hello, it's Caroline. I am starting a new junk journal, scrap journal, and I've already made the cover. The cover was made a couple months ago, put it aside, and then now I'm ready to fill it up with some signatures. And what the cover was made from is a packing envelope that I received in the... I just took it and folded it in half, and I like the size of it. And the size is about 7.5 by 10.25. And I'm going to have, this looks like a little spine here, but I'm not sure how I'm going to put the signatures in. I'm thinking I might sew them in with my machine, but I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about that. And I actually don't even know which way it's going to be. And then the inside is packaging paper that I tea stained. And I have some of my eco paper that was berry dyed. I also have fabric here that's been in my stash, has snails on it. I used that in my ephemera journal. And then the outside here was covered with Franken paper that was cast off scrapbooking paper that I have had for many, many years. So I use that for Franken paper. And we'll see what I come up with to embellish. I might put a journal or cover topper on. And I haven't got one made, but I would like to try one. So we'll see what happens here. But what I've done, and I'm trying to think of this as I go. I'm making it up as I go. I've watched a few tutorials on how to bind journals with fabric and with different techniques. So I'm trying one on my own, but I'm combining one that I saw on A Bit of Birdsong by Lynn. So I was trying to do it her way, and I don't have the right papers to do it that way, and so I'm just doing something a little different here. What I did was I took my papers, and these were regular sized papers. I'm just trying to find one here that I could show you. But just, 8.5 by 11. And so what are these now? And I cut them down to, so they are, so I left them the 8.5 width, but I did cut it down in length. So they were 8.5 by 11, and I cut them down to 9.5. I folded an inch of the paper over, and I did that to each one. And then what I did is I have one way of folding it, and then I layered it with the other way, and I just sort of went on and on like that. And these are all my own papers that I've painted. This is a shopping bag from our liquor store. It's called Stampington and Company, the magazine. These are to pull out to use. So I did that. I had those pages, and so I just went back and forth. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue an extension so that it's the same length as the full page here on those little parts. And why I did that is because I used my sewing machine to sew up the middle. And I just used a long basting stitch. And what I was going to do originally was have do a soft folding one, but I tried it with this fabric and it wasn't going to work for me. I will sew this in. Not sure how I'm going to sew it in or put it into the book yet, but I decided also that this is going to be the front of my book. So I'm using this paper. I have some sewing cluster here, some thread cluster, and you can see some of the glue, but I'll fix that up. So So that's where I am right now. I have some ruled lined paper here that is wider than I need, so I'm going to glue it into the inch pieces here. I'm going to glue it like that, and I've cut an inch off the bottom because that's what I needed. Now I have a bit overhang because this was an extra wide pad of paper. And so what I'll do is I'll probably cut it off or use my ruler afterwards. So I'm going to glue these in first. Doing this completely the long way around, and I probably am, but just wanted to try something different. And eventually I do have to put the signature into the book, and that's what I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. I don't know yet if it'll be, because I do have a piece of fabric that I thought I'd use, and I still may be able to incorporate that and maybe sew it in with the sewing machine. Totally my own made up method. Whether it works or not, we'll find out. It's for me, it's for my own use. I'm done with my challenges right now, so I'm doing my own art, my own work. And I could go out and buy a composition notebook. I still may. I don't have anything like that handy, so I just like to try and make my own. This is pretty flimsy, but that's okay. I can always add something else right here. And then here's a page that I've already started to dirty up with some paint. Just dug out my flow journal, and I have this. This is actually from a Creative Memories collection. I guess this was refills. And I just took this paper and tea stained it, and I'm going to use it in this journal. I haven't glued it on, but I decided I'm making this a pocket on this side here. Make it a pocket that way, and then I'm folding it in, so I'm not going to cut it up at all. I'm folding it in so that it'll be, I don't know, flip out on the other side. I'm trying to do it, you know, without pulling out my ruler. It's right beside me. Okay. I love the unevenness. Handmade journals, handmade books. This is a heavy paper too, so that's nice. Well, I've got a heavy paper here. This is a heavy paper. It's been folded and stained and folded again, and it's got some permanent embossing in there just from the years of neglect and abuse. But here it is, going to be used. And right here, and this into a pocket this way, but for now I'll leave it open. So I have a choice if I want to flip this out. I'll leave it like that. Well, this one I did rip off this ruled, I keep calling it ruled paper, lined paper page. And then this one here, I thought about it, and I'm going to fold it over. I'm just going to glue it down. It gives it a little more body on the edge, so I'll do that, but I'm going to use the glue stick. Oh, what's this? This is kind of fun. I just found that. I think I'm going to have to give it a little bit of a trim. I'm doing some folds. One of these days I'll take you on a tour of this room. And this one here, so how did I do that? This one went that way. This one's got to go this way, I guess. It's probably the best. This way here. Okay, I need another page. Okay, getting somewhere here. And that's that one there. It's not too bad. I got two more like this. A wild looking cover. It's got to be done. Something's got to be done with that, but you know, it's just fun. Whatever. Wild pages. I'm going to put my signature into the book cover with a pamphlet stitch, 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. This is for my own use, so if I was making this for a friend, there would be a lot more finesse and yeah, just finesse with this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, this is upholstery thread, I believe. I've had this, well, my mom and I have had this in our stash for years and years and years. And I have used it on some journals before. It's very strong. It's not waxed, but I'm using up what I have. So I have 1, 2, 3 lengths. 3 lengths, and I always give a little bit extra. My awl that I got at not Princess Auto, that's Canadian. I got this at Harbor Freight in the United States, just across the border from where we lived. And it came in a tool set. I think it was on sale for $3.99 or something, and it's great. I love shopping at hardware stores. I just go for it. There's the hole. It's not very big. The pages are large, which I like, and that's why I kept it like this, so I had lots of surface to play with. Okay, I'll leave that in there for a second. I have my threaded needle here. And I'm going to start on the outside. See if I can accomplish this. Oh, yes. I also keep handy, because it's my sewing room also, but I do keep handy a thimble to help grab and to help push, but I don't think I'm going to need it for this. What I'm going to need is probably a little set of pliers. Ah. Keep it to the outside. I like it when it happens the first time. This is where I can use my thimble. Give it a little push. more than enough thread, but that's okay. I always rather have more. Too much and not enough. Go on one side. I think I did that right. Let's take a look on the inside. That's pretty good. Now my signatures are sewn in with, they're pre-sewn in, as I had said when I started this. I wasn't sure how I was going to sew the signatures in. And so I used my machine for the main, for the signature, because that's all I have is one in there. Well, there we go. And here's a little bit of an over view from the top down, bottom. This is really long. I don't need it that long, so I will cut some off right now because I think it'll probably get in my way. Might as well keep that. A little scrap of thread. Let's go through here and just help the pages to fall properly. Scrappy journal. Nice big pages. Using what you have in your supplies. Reuse, recycle. I really like the way this looks. There's the middle. There's my stitching that I did on the machine. They feel good already. I don't know how this is all going to get dressed up, but that'll be the fun part. There's my last little flap that I didn't do anything with, but I sure can. I sure can. And there's the inside. Definitely going to have some kind of a flip out, a pocket, something there, and there'll be something in the front also. There's my journal put together. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take good care.